Jacob Kajitsky for the opening centre bounce, who's much more known as a key position player. So that'll be an area in which the Blues will hope to gain some dominance throughout today's game. As we're ready to go, here is Aaron Feder.
City Oval, Sunday afternoon. Grey clouds here. Carlton coming off a convincing win last week. The Hawks in an absolute high-scoring thriller against the Pies. Dow gets first disposal to Will Hayes. Throws it on the boot up towards centre-half forward. Bounces in front. First to it there is Fogarty. Dropped from the AFL side last week. Tumbles it inside 50. The umpire's found a free kick. It's going to go Box Hill's way at centre-half back.
So looking to go through the corridor here is Morris. Does so high and long at the back, standing tall and taking a good mark is Emerson Jacker. We know Hawks fans are really excited about what he can do. He just turns and goes from 50 and just misses. First score of the afternoon, one behind to the Hawks.
We saw that last week. The Hawks end-to-end, blistering football. Might be a little bit wet underfoot today, but they've got the skills to do it in any conditions. Stocker to take the kick in for the Blues up towards right half back. A mark is taken on the outer side for the Hawks. It's in the hands of James Parsons. The former Blue played here last year. Inside 50, big fly at the front. The Blues have got the numbers. Trying to defend grimly. Was he held without the umpire? Waves play on now. The non-controlling umpire's blowing the whistle. And he's now waved the advantage on. Ben Crocker couldn't take the mark. He's got two to deal with. Inside 50, the Hawks go. Not a great looking kick off the boot. And standing in front is Ned Cale, the former Bomber.
Has it deep inside defensive 50. And keen to just play it slow for the time being. Long to a pack. Crocker had front position, but blanked as well to get a fist to that one. 2 goals, 2 for Ben Crocker last week. Of course, not too far removed from the AFL system. Had a few years at Collingwood, followed up by 1 at Adelaide, and has become a really good player for the Carlton Blues at VFL level. Short throw in, not recalled. Murkov had front position. Now Nunes will clear. Bouncing ball up the line for Kemp. Carlton fans really excited about him. Kennedy, here's Kemp again. Got it from Hayes. Nice ball use. To find Carl at half forward. Kick though for Crocker. Just wasn't ready for it, and Blank on all fours takes the intercept.
Blank switches to his skipper, Hugh Beasley, who's lining up for game 50 today. VFL Premiership player with Richmond. Got to City Oval last year. 2-on-1. Hayes did well. Shovels it to Nunes out wide. Tries to break a tackle. Fogarty with the handball. Kemp started well. His handball's intercepted. Nunes there. Can he pick it up before the boundary line? Does. Finds Hayes, who kicks it to a dangerous spot. Right at the top of the goals grab. It coming back with courage is Mason DeWitt for the Hawks.
You mentioned that VFL Premiership, Aaron. That was the last VFL Premiership, and it was back in 2019. Strange times indeed, as Ed Phillips sends it long up the line. The Middleborough Road wing here at Box Hill City Oval, and we've got a free. Hawks want advantage. Umpire says no, bring it back. Now the Hawks working that outer side. Jacker the target once again, over his head. There's Saunders. He'll end up on the end of this. He's going to centre it for a Ducci, but it's out of bounds on the full. So exciting stuff from the Blues early, but Carlton free kick.
Will Hayes in the back pocket. Kicks it long down the line. Looking for Murkov. Couldn't take it. Bursting away was Jesse Motlop up towards half forward. Good defensive mark taken on the half-back flank. And it's the skipper Hugh Beasley who started well for the Hawks. Now called to go. Kicks it up the wing. Needs a flyer. Murkov did well to bring it to ground. Dow in there for the Blues. Close to the boundary line. And now Phillips on the left inside. Finds Fergus Green, the former Dog. Started the season well last week with a couple of goals. The kick not so good. Looking for a Ducci. The Blues have got the numbers here. And the umpire now waves play on. DeWitt, did he infringe? He did. Crocker can take the advantage if he likes. Close to the boundary line, kicks it looking for Cahill. Has it got enough on it? It does. He takes it just inside the boundary line and the Blues can kick it inside 50.
So here is Carl holding up, waiting for a short option. Eventually something he likes in the pocket presents itself. Glass McCasker couldn't hold on to it. Beasley's under pressure. Happy to find the boundary line. Good crowd into Box Hill City Oval, considering the AFL sides are going at it as we speak. Thought that might take away from the crowd, and the conditions as well might have taken away from the crowd, but good to see the fans haven't been deterred for the Box Hill Hawks' first home game of the season. Ball tossed in. Kaczynski burrowing on all fours. Eventually it is free of the congestion. Fogarty snapped towards goal, intercepted by Beasley.
On the outer side, Ed Phillips with the long blonde locks looks very much like Mason DeWitt, but with the headband on at halfback now. Kicks it short, intercepted. The Blues pressure's been good early. Evades a couple, kicks it inside 50. Could have been a free kick to Kemp. Wave play on Jesse Motlop on the right boot to get the Blues started. All clear. Jesse Motlop on the board, and so are the Blues.
Touch ball.
Touch ball.
Certainly was. Looked pretty good. I didn't hear a touch or see a touch, but that's why the umpires are in the right position. Sarong almost contested the mark there, and Box Hill are going to go end to end here. Here's Aducci, has time and space to have a bounce. Targets in the goal square. Well done, Parks. Got across and affected the spoil. 1 against 3 inside defensive 50. Not a great position for any defender to be in, but Parks did really well there. 12 touches for him last week. Yet to feature in the AFL side. Did play a few games last year for Carlton at the top level, after being a rookie draft pick a couple of years ago. Murkov to Fogarty. Quick hands. Too hot for his teammate, but the Blues might be out of trouble here. Nunes first to the footy. Good tackle laid there by Kuniko. Now he's got it, and they've got him over the boundary line.
Subdued start to this one. We know the Blues play a very contested style. They did last week against Brisbane. Quite scrappy, and the Hawks were end-to-end and piled on goals in a thrilling 2-point loss. So far, yet to see a major from either side. Murkov. Tom Phillips playing with his brother today to a dangerous spot. The Blues have got the numbers at the drop of the ball. Now they're in a bit of strife. It's picked up by James Blank. Not a noted goal kicker, but the umpires found a Brady Gray. In fact, it was. The snapper, the umpire, has found a free kick going the Blues' way to Chincotta. Spent some time on Geelong's VFL list. Was close, perhaps, to an AFL dream being realised, but suffered an ACL injury at the worst possible time. Up towards centre wing. Big fly from Jalen Thorpe, who's on debut for Box Hill, former Williamstown play. In fact, he's going to earn himself a free kick here. Clint Proctor, the coach of the Hawks, liked what he saw when he was at Williamstown and brought him along over. Up towards half forward. And the Blues have been defending well. Shallow entry there. It's slapped over the boundary line. We'll get it thrown back in.
Not used to seeing Jalen Thorpe behind the ball too much. Very much made his name as a crafty sort of forward player at Williamstown, but with a player with that athleticism, you can do all sorts of different things. Murkov again, that'll be a theme today. Brady Gray just hoiks it high inside forward 50 and says to his teammates, try and mark that. No one's able to do so. Aducci was dispossessed. Now we've got a ball coming towards a goal square in front, jack up. And the ball hit the behind post, so we'll throw it in. Will Hayes already with 6 touches for the Blues, picking right up where he left off last week. Had 33 of them. Lockie Fogarty's also got 5 as well as he seeks an AFL recall. So dangerous spot here for the Blues. Overrunning it was Mitchell. Aducci applies the pressure. Now we've got the scramble. Umpire says give it to me.
The Blues can really capitalise today at the stoppage with Murkov's height advantage. We know, obviously, Ben McAvoy out for half the year. Reeves playing AFL. Max Lynch out with concussion, so they're going to be very undemanding there today.
That's right, as the Blues clear D50, but only as far as Ed Phillips, who's going to try and slam this back in, probably beyond his range. A couple of short leads come. He says, I'm going to put it to the hot spot. Jack is there. Big fly from Nunes. Must be a free kick, and it is. Did the Hawks take advantage? No, umpire's going to wave it back. Wise decision.
Not very realistic there from Jack Nunes.
No, he's never been noted as a high flyer. But this man with the footy, Jackson Callow, he is a high flyer. Haven't seen him do much of it yet in this game, but here's a chance to go back and kick a goal from point-blank range. Got his season off to a good start with 2 goals last week, the mid-season rookie pickup. And there's the first of the afternoon going Box Hill's way. 1-1-7 plays 1 behind. Early stages opening term.
The Hawks can try and stretch Carlton's defence with players like Callow, players like Kazitsky, and also, who we mentioned before, Jalen Thorpe, are very strong in the air.
Yep.
And as we saw there, Nunes perhaps feeling the pressure as an undersized player to have to go and help out his defence, and gave away the free kick.
Yeah, certainly did. Don't think Daniel O'Keefe will be too happy with that. He might just say, play your role, Jack.
So Murkov and Kazitsky to do battle in the middle. Murkov won it convincingly. And now the umpire is going to call holding the ball. Just dived straight on top of it. So the Hawks win it out of the centre. In and out of trouble, Cunico gets it back from Long. Morris playing in the back line today. High ball up towards half forward. Saunders, can't miss him with those blonde locks up towards the boundary line, and happy to see it over is Cody Hurst, the former Swan.
Oh, tell me about it though. That blonde hair is.
There's a lot out there.
It's quite striking. When I flipped on the AFL game last night and saw Jack Ginnivan rocking it, I had to do a double take. But it seems to be, well, there's a bit of a lockdown trend that's continued.
That is true, but I think some of these boys are naturally blonde.
Some of them can pull it off too. Ball tossed in, Murkov at the front. You're going to hear his name a lot today. Hayes slapped it on. Good tackle laid there on Xavier Marr. And he's dragged over the boundary line. No prior opportunity, says the umpire. It's taken over by Ned Long, who's believed to be pretty close to an AFL debut himself.
Correct.
Rookie draft pickup last year. Carlton clear through Stevens. Nunes under pressure, able to get a handball away, but Trudgeon forced to track it. Did well to get a handball away, and now the Blues can move forward. Nunes had short targets, wanted to go longer towards half forward. Blank leads the race for that one, gives it off to Beasley, and they're just shifting the pressure elsewhere at the moment, but DeWitt now with a little bit more time, kicks a roller though, straight to Hayes. Tried to sell the candy, then lost the handle. Glass McCasker now trying to make it happen. Hayes goes in again. He's set upon. Scrappy stuff at the moment. The footy is wet. We'll see a lot of this today. Umpire not calling for a stoppage, and it's good umpiring because the ball's still in motion, but now it's over the boundary line. And we'll toss it in with the Hawks leading by 6.
See Ned Long in front of us. He's a big boy for a kid, and that's why he's close to an AFL debut, because he's got a ready-made body. We'll see him get right in and amongst it at this stoppage. Kazitsky gets the front position, does well, wins it down. Long is there, ground level. Cunico, the former Cat, on his left side, kicks it up towards half forward. The ball goes out the back and trickles over the boundary line, and seeing it over was Jai Sarong, brother of Caleb, who kicked 3 goals on VFL debut last week. Another exciting young Hawk.
Yeah, another one who's a good size too. So I'm sure Sam Mitchell will have plenty of plans for Long and Sarong and those sorts of players with that sort of size and athleticism to boot. Glass McCasker into the ruck with Murkov taking a rest right in front of us. And let me tell you, Aaron, he's a big boy. Not only is he 206 centimetres, but he can jump. Former volleyballer.
Re-signed with the club recently as well, so a long-term project player who's making early strides this year.
Very much so, as Hawks go towards half forward. Sarong offhand, sends it to the one-on-one and full forward. Fergus Green not able to take the mark. calls for deliberate, and they're going to be heard by the umpire. Might have been almost a 50 there as well, but Green's going to take the free kick. Considered a difficult angle a few years ago. Now the players just run around onto the right and snap it through. 3 goals last week for Green. Keeps it low, but puts it through. Box Hill get the first 2 of the game, and they lead it by those 2 kicks. We've gone 15 minutes now in the opening term. As you mentioned, Aaron, a former Western Bulldogs AFL listed player, Fergus Green, and they've got a lot of ex-AFL talent on their VFL list. They've really loaded up, and in addition to the youngsters filtering through, this VFL list is probably one of the reasons why Box Hill are considered one of the top 3 or 4 favourites for a premiership tilt this year.
All those players you mentioned, Cunico, Brady Gray, Ed Phillips, Fergus Green, Cal Porter, the list goes on. They're all still looking for that second opportunity, or in some cases third opportunity.
They're all
at the
still
next level.
young.
I think all of them are on Hawthorn's COVID emergency break glass list. And all are very, very good players at this level and leading the way for some of these younger players to learn the ropes off them. The ball shoveled out the back. Morris started his career up forward. He is now plying his trade down back. Saunders tries to shrug the tackle. Crocker at half forward. Looks inside. Good looking ball and finds Chin Cotter. 55 out from goal. Lowers his eyes. Nice looking kick. Cahill, who slipped out the back. That's poor marking by the Hawks. And the former Don, from 25 metres out in a slight angle, can kick the Blues first of the afternoon.
Yeah, small forwards have a habit of doing that, don't they? Just finding pockets of space inside forward 50. Getting away from their defenders as well. He's done that and has a chance to go for goal here.
I say Cahill, you say Carl.
Take your pick.
Well, I'll go with Cahill until I'm told otherwise definitively. Ned Cahill, the former Bomber, some would say stiff to be delisted at the end of last year. Should nail this from here. Leans back, strikes it okay, and sneaks it through. So the Blues are on the board. 17 minutes into this opening quarter here at City Oval. It's the Hawks leading at 2-1-13 and the Blues 1-1-7.
Nice finish there from Cahill, Aaron. He's, as he said, perhaps a little bit unlucky to be delisted from the Dons last year, but he's still a very young man looking to, I guess, work his way back into an AFL list. And being a VFL listed player at a club like Carlton is a good way for him to do that. And good, promising signs for him converting his opportunities there. Kicked one last week as well, so he's up to 2 for the season.
Will Hayes led the way for the Blues last week with touches and goals and already 9 disposals about halfway through this opening quarter.
Yeah, had 33 of them last week with a couple of goals as well, so he's on track to beat that at the moment, as we'll have a recalled bounce.
See Emerson Jecker now in the ruck, so they're just going to be throwing that ruck magnet around today with no clear number 1 ruckman.
That's certainly what they'll attempt to do, but Murkov's flipped that beautifully over the top to Dow, who was dragged off it. Fogarty tried to hack it forward. Parsons, former teammate of his, had his kick smothered, and now Max Walton has it. 23rd player today for the Hawks. Out wide to Cunico. And right in front of our broadcast position, here is Sam Butler, younger brother of Daniel, former Richmond Premiership player, and now with St Kilda. Inside forward 50. Snap it, goal comes from Green. Just missing. Okoye did well there to come across. Just get a hand on that to prevent the mark being taken. Hawks get their second behind of the game.
That's what Fergus Green can do. For his size, he's great above his head, but also very smart when the ball hits the ground there. Couldn't execute, but already danger signs for Fergus Green. Up towards half forward. Morris, huge fly. Kemp couldn't quite take it on the third grab. Now Cunico, he kicked it a few times on his left today to a dangerous spot. Aducci is there. Green again involved. Aducci, who's running after this, needs some support. Saunders snaps around the body. Jack Saunders across the face and through for a minus score. The Hawks look dangerous when the ball hits the ground.
That they do. They currently leading it by 8 points. Kicking to come from Chincotta. Spots up a target in the pocket. That's just a roller, but with time and space, the Blues should get out of trouble. And they'll go again, working this Middleborough Road wing here at Box Hill City Oval. Almost turned over. Thorpe just couldn't hang on to it. Numbers with the Blues, though, on the ground. Trudgeon inside forward 50, looking for the lead. Not quite finding it. That was Crocker. Now Box Hill able perhaps to escape. Beasley's in there. Plenty of numbers around it. And we'll toss it in. Into time on opening term. 2-3 plays 1-1.
The Tom Phillips and Ed Phillips, the brothers, wouldn't have played together at this level before, I don't believe.
Probably not since they were kids.
So, high-profile recruit last year, Tom Phillips from the Pies to the Hawks, and now finds himself out of a developing team side. So he'll strap himself in for a big one, no doubt. Ball on the far wing. Thrown up Murkov, already dominant in the hit-out stakes. Porter, the former Dog, snaps it out of bounds, and Cottrell will look to take the free kick. As you mentioned, still a decent crowd. Hawks and the Blues at AFL level at the MCG. There's still plenty of passionate VFL supporters down here this afternoon. So far, the rain has held off.
Bit of a skirmish off the footy, and Brady Gray's won himself a free.
So Brady Gray at half-back, and now he's saying it's further downfield, and it's going to go to Tom Phillips. Now being told to go around on his mark, so we'll get there eventually. Tom Phillips with ball in hand at half-back for the Hawks. They lead it by 8 points, 22 minutes gone in this opening term here at City Oval. Phillips now kicks it long. Needs a flyer, falls to the back. Aducci picks the ball up, did well. Shovels out wide to Parsons, who now just bangs it long inside 50. McCoy from behind. Chincotta with a fancy handball over his head, close to the boundary line. The Blues work this well through Dow and Cottrell. The ball evaded Murkov on the ground, and now it's just kicked back inside 50 for the Hawks. Big fly and completed mark there by Luke Parks for the Blues, and they can switch play to the opposite side, and it lands in the lap of Ben Crocker.
Certainly does. He has Nunes running for him hard wide. Goes there, and Radovanovic now the next link in the chain.
Got rid of the locks this year.
Certainly has. Had to, again, just double take when I first saw him, but that's a nice ball to Glass McCasker. Has it right in front of the Box Hill bench. Hayes calls for it short. He's got a man on his own in the pocket. Don't tell me that was Cahill again. It was Hurst, and Blank does well to get across and affect the spoil.
Even in defence, the Hawks are quite undermanned. No Kyle Hartigan today as well, so guys like Blank, VFL-listed player, going to have to fight out of their weight division. They've held up okay so far.
They certainly have. Just the one goal for the Blues, 23 minutes in.
Not much of a win to speak of either.
No, not at all. We would know. We're standing outside. Gray, dispossessed. So too Fogarty. On the ground, Motlop lurking, trying to make something happen. But it's going to go Box Hill's way. Sarong out in front. Can't bring it in. Hayes. We know he'll go hard all day. Phillips over the top of it, and now it spills free. Here's Lewis. McCoy runs it over, calls for deliberate. Go unheard.
On Jarman Impey watch, so we're 24 minutes in, so he's going to be wearing the number 86 today, not the number 4. Managed minutes, we know.
Yep.
He hasn't stepped foot onto the field in this first quarter yet, but he is slowly warming himself up, so we'll keep a keen eye on him throughout the afternoon.
I imagine he is absolutely chomping at the bit to get out there, but he will get his chance eventually. Here's Hurst. Dish over the top. Chincotta tried to tap it on.
Oof.
Strong tackle laid. We'll get a stoppage.
So Murkov up against Kazitsky. The Hawks have got the numbers at the back. Cunico again. You'd think he's a left footer. I'm pretty sure he's a right footer. He's kicked almost every time on his left, and he's doing it quite nicely. Sarong on ground level. Long lays the tackle. Hayes about to get mown down by Aducci. Sarong in there again, fighting hard. He's Fogarty. Oh, nice clean pick up by Sarong, and then he's taken down from behind. Free kick not paid. Long shovels the ball forward. Cottrell first there for the Blues towards the boundary line. Parks dispossessed. Hurst, great pick up. The umpire's found a free kick. And it's going to go to Luke Parks, who's another one who's had a haircut over the off-season.
He is. He's started this game pretty well. The free kick's going to be upfield. Not that it's too far downfield, but you get the gist. Cottrell. Up the line, Murkov. Had to just get a fist to it, couldn't fly. Now Morris has got a problem on the ground. I'm not expecting a long quarter. We've only had the 3 goals kicked, 25 and a half gone. Goal either way will have either side feeling really good about itself heading into quarter time. Murkov did well. Hayes off to Chincotta. Ball inside forward 50, but he was pushed as he kicked or after he kicked? As he kicked. So the free kick will come from where Chincotta kicked it. Out of his range, you'd think. So he's just going to set it into the pocket. Motlop's leading. Doesn't have it, though. Good defensive work from the Hawks. Porter, I think it was. He got the spoil in. Now they clear. Still going. Hayes taking the ground. Had it way too long. And Box Hill can repel off halfback.
He's had a few good minutes, Jai Sarong. He's doing it in the air and at ground level. Jekka couldn't take the mark at Coy, close to the boundary line, and happy to see it over is Sam Butler. Highly rated youngster. Picked 23 for the Hawks last year. Interrupted pre-season with injury and now gets a good run at it here this afternoon.
A surprise to many that he actually fell that far in the draft as well. Projected by many to be in the top 15 to 20 picks.
Jekka, front position against Murkov. Murkov, in fact, Glass McCasker still wins it down. Thorpe got a bit of time and space close to the boundary line. Did well, kicks on his left. Jekka, ball over the back. Sarong did well then. Follows up with a strong tackle. Radovanovic bumped as he kicked. Gray, former Docker. Fogarty couldn't take it cleanly. Hayes barging his way through there. Motlop couldn't take it cleanly. There's a bit of scuffle off the board between Paddy Dow and Brady Gray. Long sits underneath it. Big fly from Josh Cripps. Falls to the back. Losing his feet there was Luke Parks. In and under. Chincotta, who's been good this quarter. Dow. How's the foot skills there from Paddy Dow? Beautiful. It's Josh Cripps lace out. The left footer. Inboard. Looks okay. It'll work. Fogarty. Inside 50. Thorpe did well. So playing behind the ball. Interesting role for him. Big tackle laid by Brody Kemp on Ed Phillips, and we'll have a stoppage.
Will Hayes up to 12 touches. Michael Lewis sitting on 8 for Carlton, and for Box Hill, Kuniko leading the way with 7. Fergus Green and Tom Phillips also with 6 apiece. Ball up. Here's Hurst. Couldn't hang on to it. Gets it back, though. Twisted in the tackle. Tried to handball towards Kemp. He ends up with it. Turns around. Just couldn't get any purchase on the snap at goal, though, and DeWitt just hacks it out of there. Does stay in, though. But Nunes gathers the ball as the siren sounds for quarter time. And here at Box Hill City Oval, it's the Hawks 2-3-15 leading Carlton 1-1-7. Our goal kickers for the Hawks. Jackson ready to go in the second term. Aaron Feder to get us going.
Kazitsky and Murkov. Good tap out there by the Blues ruckman. Dow lays a strong tackle on Gray. DeWitt on the left boot, but doesn't get very far. Ed Phillips now. Handball to Porter. Up towards the wing. Couldn't take it. Kazitsky. Cottrell mops up. Low ball inside. Mark taken by Will Hayes, who continues from his strong start in the opening quarter. Switches play to Xavier Marr. Can use the outside run of Cooper Stevens. Has to go back and get it. Gives it back now. Tries to evade Kazitsky. Kicks it inside 50. High ball. Impey on the ground for his first run. Off the ground. Is it been touched? It has been. The flying shot there off the ground from Cahill. So Jarman Impey on the field for his first run. Didn't take to the ground in the opening quarter. So managed minutes today, returning from injury. Didn't take the mark on that occasion, but the Hawks now, through DeWitt, can rebound.
Just good to see him out there. We know injuries have really interrupted his career. He's a very good AFL player when he's out there, but it's been the only issue with him holding him back. Hopefully he gets a clear run at it as Carlton wins a free. They'll play advantage inside forward 50. Kemp the flyer at the back, spills out to Cahill, and they can raffle it off with a goal coming for the Blues through Crocker. First goal of the second term to Carlton. They needed that. It's just a 1-point ball game now. 2-2 plays 2-3.
The ball's going to spend a lot of time on the ground today, and it's some of those dangerous medium and small size for both teams are really going to be important. And Ben Crocker, well, he knows where the goals are. He gets a lot of shots at goal every game, and you can often see he'll kick 3 goals 3 or 2 goals 4, so he gets a lot of opportunities, and right from the goal line, he wasn't going to miss that one. Yeah,
that's right. The set shots haven't always been his best friend, but he is good in and around goal, and especially snaps around the body. He does love those in general play, but I guess all modern players do, don't they?
So Impey lining up at halfback, not wearing the number 4, number 86 today, so look out for him. In the middle, Murkov, again, wins the tap out convincingly. Gray, wrapped up in a great tackle by Fogarty. How's the umpire going to see this? Took him on and rewarded. So dropped from the AFL side last week, Lockie Fogarty. Earns himself a free kick here in true centre position. Kicks it inside 50. And Jalen Thorpe takes the mark, but the umpire's found a free kick. Either way, it's going the Hawks' way, and it's going to go to the skipper, Hugh Beasley, who feeds it off to the left-footed DeWitt. Good ball to Ned Long. And now the Hawks up the wing. Good mark defensively taken by Radovanovic. Chips it in board dangerously. Kemp flew, couldn't take the mark. Parsons at ground level now to Long, who kicks it inside 50. The Hawks have got numbers here. Jekka. Parks stole it from him late. And now he needs some support at ground level. He's lying on top of this, and now it flicks out towards the boundary line. Did well. A couple of sockers to himself. Fogarty couldn't pick it up. Impey couldn't take it cleanly. Now picks it up. Jarman Impey. Did he get one high? The umpire saw that before he threw it, and Jarman Impey will take the free kick. 60 out from goal for the Hawks, so Impey's first disposal of the game after coming on at the start of the second quarter. Kicks it inside 50. Big fly from Jekka. Couldn't quite take it. The Blues through Dow. And now Nunes out wide. And they can rebound. And they do it well up towards the boundary line. And the defensive spoil in the end coming from Hugh Beasley. Will have it thrown in.
Just to go back to Luke Parks' effort there, I reckon that's twice now in this game where Parks has saved an almost certain goal-scoring opportunity for the Blues. His desperate defending is a big reason why they only trail it by a point, as Murkov wins it down. Ball rolling. Hard ball to be won. No one really wanted it. Eventually it was hacked forward. Thorpe got to it first, then he lost it. Slippery the ball is out there. Haven't had any rain in the last hour or so, but still is slippery. And now we'll get a stoppage. 5 minutes gone, just the one goal in the second term. If you just joined us, Hawks led it by 8 at quarter time. Hack ball forward. It's out of bounds and the umpire calls for a throw in. Seems that harsher, deliberate interpretation hasn't necessarily filtered down to this level. It'll be Murkov against Kajitsky. Clear size advantage, and here's Motlop breaking away from the pack with speed. Gives the handball off, fumble from Kemp. Now he's got a problem. Thorpe's all over him. Ball does spill free though, and Carlton can go forward again through Fogarty. High ball, one-on-one, Beasley, Glass McCasker. Phillips feeds it back into danger, but Hawthorn do have the numbers. Jarman Impey able to find Aducci a long way from home. Gets it back to Jarman. Now the Hawks are working the corridor. This looks good. Sarong has numbers running back towards goal. Jack is one of them, so too Green. Good defensive effort, though, from Radovanovic. Prevents another goal-scoring opportunity for the Hawks. He was caught out 1-on-3 and did really well to prevent that from being marked.
Impey involved in the chain there. It was nice ball movement and outnumbered Radovanovic. And outsized, did well to cause the stoppage. It's thrown in. 30 out. From behind, it's James Parsons doing the ruck work on that occasion. So very undersized against Murkov and obviously gives away the free kick. Big lumbering ruckman kicks it up towards centre wing, playing in front Beasley. Josh Cripps did okay from behind. He's Motlop, who's been busy to start this second quarter. Fogarty with the quick hands, misses the mark. And now Chin Cotter through Hayes, a little bit quiet to start this second term after a blistering start. Nunes wanted to go one way, then the other. Kicks it inside 50 all by his lonesome. Slipped out the back is Josh Cripps. Was thinking about going quickly to Crocker. Instead, will take it upon himself. 40 out, slide angle, good ball movement from the Blues.
Yeah, that's what happens when you change the angles, isn't it? When you go forward, you can get players on the fat side just running inside forward 50 unopposed, and that's what's happened there with Cripps. Beasley got sucked up towards the ball, and Cripps decided, I'll just hang back and wait for it.
The younger brother of Paddy, of course, comes in. Left foot, always to the left-hand side and through for a minus score. 2-3-15 apiece. 7.5 minutes gone in this second term here at City Oval.
Disappointing finish there from Cripps, but shown a good work rate thus far. Kick in for Box Hill. High ball. Walton's got a few to contend with. Eventually he got some support, but by that stage it was too late and the ball's over the boundary line. And we do have a final score from the MCG, Aaron. It's the Blues getting the win over the Hawks by 1 point. So Carlton just squeak out of the MCG with a small win, and hopefully we'll get it just as close a game here at Box Hill City Oval. We're currently off to a good start with the scores tied at 2-3-15. Cottrell inside forward 50. Mark not taken. DeWitt just hacks it out of the area and hopes for the best. Standing in front was Callow. Got it to ground. Now Parsons has a problem. Did get a handball away in the nick of time. Butler taken high by Okoye. And young Sam Butler, I should say, will take the free kick just short of centre wing.
Good intensity by Okoye. He was outnumbered, brought the ball to ground and then followed up a little bit overzealous. They wouldn't mind that from him. Butler's kick up towards the wing position. Radovanovic, who's been good today, loses grip of the ball now. Phillips is taking in a really strong tackle and will have a stoppage. The ruck will be taken by Callow. Hayes, handball to Motlop, who's been busy. Handball's out in front to no one in particular. Gray taking in a strong tackle by Xavier Marr. How the umpires see this, he'll come in and throw it up. The Blues' intensity at ground level with those runners, and even when they don't have the ball, just some bone-crunching tackles, particularly in this second term, really setting the tone. Glass McCasker shoveled out to Hayes, who's now starting to get busy in this second term. Left foot inside, some holding, and the umpire allows it to go on. Close to the boundary line. Saunders to Phillips. Knocks it forward to Long. Phillips involved again. Of the Tom variety. Now Long up towards the wing. Sarong got hands to it, couldn't take it on the second bite. And Okoye right there with him.
A little bit disappointed in himself there, Jai Sarong. Thought he should have held on to that one.
There's not much of him.
No, there isn't. But when you're a young first-year player, you get a pass on a slippery day like this. Glass McCasker just clearly outbodying Callow, but Hawks win the clearance through Parsons. Bouncing ball at half forward, taken by Radovanovic. Wanted his right foot, and he wasn't on the right angle for it. So it's created some problems for his teammates, but they're good enough to get away. Cottrell, Hayes, little kick in board. Fogarty had it punched away by Walton. Going at ground level now, Long overrunning it. Here is Trudgeon, the Blues player, and inside forward 50 they go. Glass McCusker had a few to contend with. Cripps, in fact, it was. And now the Hawks are away off half back. Deliberate bounce there from Phillips on the soggy ground. Aduchi's handball, though, partially smothered. Now the Blues can go the other way. Okoye, Motlop, options inside forward 50. Kemp, was he pushed in the back? Play on, says the umpire. Kick smothered by Fogarty. Can go for goal or he can give it off to Hurst. He does the latter and Hurst bounces it through. Great pressure from the Blues. Leads to a goal. 3-3-21 now, Carlton. Box Hill 2-3-15. They trailed it by 8 at quarter time. Box Hill yet to score in this second term, and they've put on a couple of goals, Carlton.
And again, it's those small, dangerous types at ground level getting involved, roving off the work of Brodie Kemp there, and executing in front of goal. So the Blues, after a bit of a lacklustre start now, definitely been the better side in this second term, and they hold a 6-point lead. Might be some interested Blues fans just heading from the MCG with smiles on their faces, wanting to come down here to City Oval and take a look at some of the younger players who are doing their work this afternoon. So the umpire's going to throw it up here. Callow with rocking the tape around the head. And Glass McCusker, who wins the tap out convincingly. Hayes is in there. Long, spending some big minutes at the stoppage already. The first-year player off the rookie list. Ready-made. Hawk supporters very excited about him. Callow won his own tap. Dow just pushed as he kicked. Hayes in there for the Blues. Then taken in a strong tackle. Applied by Ned Long. The Hawks now inch it forward. Stocker, Jecker keeps it out in front of him. Did well. Now loses it. The Blues have got the numbers to rebound through handball. A little bit sloppy. The umpire's found a holding free kick. It's going to go the Blues' way. Luke Parks on the end of it here for the Blues. Up towards Nunes. Plays on. DeWitt traps it for the Hawks. Close to the boundary line. Nunes involved again. Kick smothered. It's not pretty at ground level here. Dow close to the play here. Can't get involved, and the umpire blows his whistle and he'll throw it up.
Paddy Dow, pick 3 a few years ago. 2017 it was. Just hasn't quite established himself at AFL level and finds himself out of Michael Voss's best 22 plans at the moment. DeWitt clears for Box Hill. Bouncing ball. Phillips leading the race for it, but it's seen over. Had company with him, did Tom Phillips. 6-point ball game in favour of the Blues. About the halfway mark of the second term.
Will Hayes leading all comers with 18. Fogarty the next best with 12.
Sounds about right. They've been prolific, those two. They'll win the clearance here, Box Hill. Phillips just feeds it back to Porter. High ball up the wing. McCoy outbodied, but his opponent couldn't take the mark, and now the Blues can make them pay. Here's Noon sending it inside forward 50. Cripps, was he held? Yes, according to the umpire. The Blues will take advantage, and Crocker will get his second from the goal square. Crocker's gotten on the end of a couple of chains of good Carlton play. They move to 4-3-27. Box Hill 2-3-15. No change from their quarter time score.
The Hawks being a little bit undersized, again, no Kyle Hartigan, and having to have some of those key position players roll through the ruck. When Jalen Thorpe made a name at VFL level with Williamstown as a high-flying forward, and now he's playing, on the deepest forward in defence, and he's showing a little bit of his inexperience in the air. We know he can run and jump at the ball. When he's going to worry about a direct opponent, he's just looking a little bit out of his depth so far. But Josh Cripps, who's a young player, has definitely got some size and height to his advantage. And then again, Ben Crocker, he's a smart footballer. Always somehow finds a way out the back door.
Yep, that's right.
So back in the middle here at City Oval, the Blues extend their lead to 12 points. We've played 15 minutes in this second quarter as Ben Crocker comes off for a well-earned rest. Dow, Fogarty around the ball for the Blues. Good tackle by Butler. Tom Phillips with the clearing kick, but Cottrell is there into traffic. Then outside, Aducci robes it well. Nice left foot kick. Is it going to work out? Kaczynski couldn't take it down low. And Long, who's been busy in this second quarter, follows up with a tackle. Dow kicks the ball out of the area into the centre square. Impey taking in a strong tackle, gets the handball out to Phillips. Hayes. And the umpire circles and calls holding the ball. So hot on that one. Ed Phillips with his brother running around the back and takes the free kick for the Hawks. True centre wing position. Ed Phillips, the former Saint, kicks it inside 50. Big fly from Jacka. Couldn't quite take it. Ooh, interesting kick out of mid-air from Jacob Kaczynski there. Didn't quite work out into the Hawks' favour. DeWitt. Thorpe came out in front and intercepted. Kaczynski is there. Phillips lost possession of the ball. The Blues' pressure is extreme. The Hawks just hanging on for the moment. Kemp is in there. Phillips lays a tackle. Cahill shovels it out the back door to Cottrell. Cincotta to Nunes. Back to Cincotta from 50. Let's fly. Not a bad looking kick from Alex Cincotta. The Blues are on fire in this second term. 5-3-33. The Blues, Box Hill 2-3-15. Brilliant passage of play by the Blues.
Yeah, it certainly was. We had a bit of everything, really. The scrap right in front of us, Aaron, and then once they were able to break free, just the speed and the run and carry, and led to a nice finish there from Alex Cincotta.
Playing behind the ball today, but a lot of that run from behind.
Yep.
We saw he set up one early with lowering his eyes, so for a VFL listed player, is definitely catching the eye.
Certainly standing out, as he said, Aaron, and now he's starting on the wing, so a bit of a do-everything sort of player.
Back in the centre, Dow is starting to get busy in this second quarter. Great hands by Jesse Motlop, shovels the handball out wide. Fogarty, Nunes. The Blues now attacking again. Thorpe almost overran it, did at ground level. Cripps follows up with a great tackle. We'll have a stoppage. The Blues really putting the foot down here. And they lead it by 18 points. 18 minutes gone in this second term.
Ball up in a dangerous spot for the Hawks. Klaus McCasker to handle the ruck duties. Got it out to Motlop, to Fogarty. Wanted to steady before taking the shot, but he was caught, and now Box Hill are away. Leading the race for this one is Seamus Mitchell on the outer wing. Gets a kind bounce. He can use his pace. He has it. We know he does. But he just stops props and sends it towards forward 50. Parks again, getting a hand to that footy. Still alive, though, for the Hawks. Aducci dishes it off. They can go again through Mitchell. High ball, forward 50. Who's going to stand tall and take a mark? Kaczynski. And they desperately need this just to arrest Carlton's momentum.
The kick came in from Sam Butler, so he showed some really good poise, broke a tackle, lowered his eyes, and that was the first real look at him today, and showed some good composure.
Good signs for the young Hawks draft pick. Wasn't the cleanest of kicks, but it got to its target. And now Kaczynski a chance to take advantage. Starved a forward opportunity today. Spent most of the game in the ruck so far, and he's just missed it to the near side. First score of the second quarter for the Hawks, 2-4-16 to 5-3-33.
So Stocker to bring it in for the Blues, keeps it low. Great pickup by Hurst. Definitely heard some ground first, though. Out the back is Crocker again. One-on-one with Thorpe, who gets to the front position. Did well this time, Jalen Thorpe. Can he take it cleanly? Crocker right there with him. Wanted the boundary line. Gets the boundary line. How the umpire see it, he'll say throw it in. 5 on the trot for the Blues. They're controlling every aspect of this game. In the forward pocket, it'll be thrown in. So Kaczynski started as a key defender, then moved forward, now having to do some ruck work today. Phillips at ground level. Hurst has been good today for the Blues. Kick inside, forward 50. Glass McCasker, big fly from Thorpe. We've seen it before, couldn't bring it down. Saunders, good-looking kick. Can Phillips fly? He can, and Okoye did brilliantly in the air. He follows up at ground level, needs some support, finds it through Hayes. Hayes now to Cahill. Needs some help from Hayes this time on the left. Inside forward 50. Cripps over at the back. Crocker now breaks a tackle. Fogarty looking for the high free kick. Impey involved with a tackle. And the umpire will have it.
Into time on now, second term. 17-point lead for the Blues. And a chance for them to put on another one with a stoppage inside forward 50. Glass McCaskill's tap is sharked. Ball caught in between a few players, and umpire says, give it to me. Carlton have got Murkoff sitting behind the ball, so if the quick kick comes for Box Hill, may very well be coming back. Standing next to Jack up. We'll get another stoppage though. Glass McCaskill wins it out of the ruck, but straight to Porter. Here is that quick kick we mentioned before. Murkoff to go against Jekka. Just spikes it down, the former volleyballer. Might work out okay though for the Hawks. Here's Green. Got it from Aducci. Sends it goalward. Vacant goal square. It's marked by Mitchell. Great transition play from the Hawks, and Mitchell can go back from point-blank range to get the Hawks first of the term.
The Hawks can split you open like that. We saw end-to-end goals last week. Maybe not the perfect conditions here as the floodlights come on, but that was just a little look at what they are capable of, and on the end of it is Seamus Mitchell.
Haven't seen a lot of it today, but that is what they can do. And Mitchell, to finish it all off, makes no mistake. And his teammates get to him. First goal of the day, second for the season for Seamus Mitchell. 3-4-22 now, the Hawks. Trailing Carlton by 11, 5-3-33, late second term.
A lot of the Hawks' attacking play starts from the back line. We see some good decisions out into space. And on the transition, as you said, they look extremely dangerous. We just haven't seen it so much today. That's a good starting point for them as we tick up towards 24 minutes played in this second term. They bridge the gap. So for all the Blues' dominance in this quarter, they haven't quite kicked away. The lead is 11 points. Back in the centre, Glass McCaskill. Dow with another clearance on the instep. DeWitt overran it. Crocker's there. Did well. Taking in a DeWitt tackle. The umpire still hasn't called it. Now has. Those are two boys who know no other way. Ben Crocker and Mason DeWitt. 45 out. Directly in front. Cripps doing the ruck work this time. DeWitt is getting busy. Kick didn't go very far. Jecker at ground level did well. Morris rebounds. Kick's going to work out okay. Sarong kicks it inside 50 over the head of Callow, and the Blues have got the numbers at ground level. Matt Cottrell can rebound. Sees something he likes further afield. It's Crocker. Thorpe did well, then fell over his own feet. Kemp has got some time to go backwards to Cottrell on his wrong side. Kicks it nicely up towards the boundary line. Beasley now to Porter, who's taken in a great tackle by Cody Hurst. How will the umpire view this? He'll tell the boundary umpire to throw it in. And again, those Carlton Smalls applying great pressure at ground level.
They have, and that's why the Blues have got a stoppage forward to centre wing. That's why they lead it by 11 points as well. Glass McCaskill in the ruck against Jack up. The former won the hit out. And the Blues will win the clearance through Cottrell, who's up to 14 disposals. DeWitt got a fist to that against Fogarty. And just handball to space, hoping for the best, trying to buy some time. Kemp got it. Was he pushed into the ground? Umpire says no. So 5-3 plays 3-4 at Box Hill City Oval. Good crowd in. We had the double header today with the VFLW game. Hawthorn v Carlton. A lot of the players and crowd from that game have stuck around for the men's game. Phillips overran it. Now Hurst is gang tackled.
There's not much of Cody Hurst, but he goes in hard. He's at every drop of the ball, laying tackles. Spent some time with Sydney, now back fighting for a second opportunity at VFL level. Will Hayes wrapped up in a tackle. Brady Gray. Fogarty out the back door to Kemp, who's getting busy in this second term. High up and under towards the boundary line. Almost a mark. And that's going to go through for a goal. That is very, very sneaky. Waiting for the central umpire to confirm. And it's Ned Cahill who's got his second. Very opportunistic there from the former Bomber. Sound like a broken record, Michael, but it is those smaller types. And they're not just creating the opportunities, they're taking them. And the Blues skip out 6-3-39 to the Hawks 3-4-22.
They are the ones getting it done so far. Cahill becomes the second multiple goal kicker on the ground. Crocker's got a couple, as does he. And just good for the Blues to get that out to that 17-point lead. Probably still not as much as it should be given their dominance in this quarter, but 17-point lead's better than 11 for them. About to get started back in the middle. Murkov and Callow to go at it. Callow didn't even bother jumping on that occasion. At the back. Hawks win the clearance. High ball towards the broadcast wing. Phillips was in fringe with. He'll win the free. Short lead offered by Butler, but Phillips doesn't take it. Still on Butler, but Phillips decides instead to go long and strong. Where are the Flyers? Sarong got first hands to it. Carlton defence, though, resolute. Hayes, in his defensive goal square, finds Hurst. And the Blues out of trouble. Hurst just taking a moment to get up. He's been in the wars today. As we've mentioned, he's not a big man. Kick up the line is good. Trudgeon just couldn't bring it in. Did the hard work, though, and then shot a handball out towards Cottrell as well. But the Hawks able to get to it and create the pressure. But the Blues come away with it anyway. Just missing that handball there was Ma. That opened the door for the Hawks to come back in. Numbers around it. And we will get a boundary throw in. 17-point lead for the Blues late in the second term.
Just on Jarman Impey, sitting on the bench at the moment. He's had 4 disposals in this second quarter. Started the game on the bench. Didn't come onto the field in the first quarter. We know managed minutes coming back from that stress fracture in his foot. He's done some nice things. Kemp with the clearance for the Blues. Over the head there of Cripps, trickling towards the boundary line. Fogarty trying to trap it, and we'll see it out of bounds. 29 minutes gone in this second term. It's the Blues by 17 points. Their smalls have been very damaging in this second quarter as the floodlights continue to take effect here at City Oval. Thrown back into play, Murkov been dominant in the ruck today. That stoppage. Parsons now, Tom Phillips who's getting busy. Stockart, that's a great mark. Courageous, getting back in the hole and taking the mark. You can't miss him with those fluoro boots. Chips it wide and finds Cottrell. We'll get his numbers from you, Michael, in a moment. Matt Cottrell being very busy in this second term. Turned over though, Tom Phillips now through Ned Long. Sarong kicks it inside, forward 50, 2-on-1. The Blues could raffle it. Parks dropped what he should have taken. Chincotta goes to ground towards the boundary line. Cottrell again. And the smother there from Ned Long right in front of the Andrew Jackson scoreboard.
Those last couple of touches there get Cottrell up to 20. Trails only Will Hayes on the field, who has 24. Lockie Fogarty next in line with 15. And for Box Hill, it's the Phillips brothers leading the way. Tom has 13 and Ed has 12. As we have a boundary throw in, but the siren beats the stoppage. And here at Box Hill City Oval, it's Carlton 6-3-39. They trailed it by 8 at quarter time, but now they're leading Box Hill by 17, 3-4-22. Our goal kickers for the day, multiple goals for Ben.
That's in the opening term for him. Just the one disposal, but he's getting first hands to the football around the ground. We're away here in the second half here at City Oval. It's the Blues leading the Hawks by 17 points. Good bounce to get us underway. Petrevski did well. Strong tackle straight into the back, the umpire says. A little bit overzealous to start for the Blues. And Cal Porter, the former Dog, to take the free kick. Plays on now. Kicks it inside 50. A coy, big fly from behind from Callow. Couldn't quite take it. Parks shovels it out to Nunes, who's back helping defence, as is Paddy Dow. Handball was okay. Missed Hayes. Up towards the boundary line. Kemp is there. Tom Phillips. The ball hasn't gone out just yet. Radovanovic did well. Dow, was he out of bounds? He was. So he worked hard in the first half, Paddy Dow, but a lot at stoppage, a lot just banging forward. So we haven't quite seen the class that he does have on the outside just yet.
Yep, hasn't had a chance to break free of congestion just yet. He's about to get it tossed in. Murkoff first hands to it, and here is Dow breaking away momentarily, then had his kick partially smothered. DeWitt first to it. He just puts it inside forward 50 straight to Stocker, whose kick is a mongrel, but it lands in the lap of Fogarty. Right in front of our broadcast position here at Box Hill City Oval. Slowed it down, and then kicked it straight to Thorpe. Well done. Jalen Thorpe just floating across and getting in front of Kemp.
That's what he can do. Reads the flight of the ball extremely well.
It's very new to him playing behind the footy, but he'll get better at it over time because he's just that talented, but not a great kick on that occasion. He's kicked it straight to Murkoff, who always wanted to handball that to Stocker, and now short to Radovanovic. Switches on for the Blues. It's going to be a slow play, though. Now calling for it a bit more centrally is Cincotta. Did well to get around a would-be tackler, and now he's going to play the 1-2, and before you know it, the Blues are almost inside 50, but that's where it comes to an end as Beasley slides and takes the mark.
So the skipper in his 50th game finds Tom Phillips on the trusty left foot. Inside to Ned Long. Here's Jarman Impey. Can go for a run. Can let fly from 45. Jarman Impey away to the left-hand side. Through for a minor score, but exciting play nonetheless on return for Jarman Impey. And Ned Long, the youngster, getting involved. 8 disposals in the first half, 2 kicks, but what we liked was his work around the contest. 8 tackles, big body, ready to go on the inside. Positive signs this afternoon.
Certainly is, and Hawks fans are keeping an eye on his bright future. As Box Hill able to intercept, and they'll go forward again, inside forward 50. Okoye well placed. Might have just impacted the contest. Ball spills free, and Phillips would have run into an open goal there, but good intervention by the Carlton defence. Thorpe was classy with the one-handed pickup. Sends it long to the square. Jacker not quite. Stocker spoils him, and it's through for a rush behind.
As you mentioned, how about the pickup from Jalen Thorpe?
Oh, he's very talented, isn't he? Very talented player, and Carlton now lead him by 15 points.
So short into the pocket to Nunes. Good ball. Finds an option at halfback. Now taking his time. Was thinking about the switch to Parks, but now is going to go long down the line. Crocker. DeWitt did well with the defensive spoil. Callow overruns it. Now has to go back and get it. Needing support. Here's Impey taking in a good, strong Motlop tackle. Wrapped up. Then threw the handball out the back. Dow in traffic. That was classy. Inside, outside, and then finds Crocker. Kicks it out in front of him. Ben Crocker. What can he do from the pocket? Loses his feet. And then absolutely set upon and pushed in the back. So Ben Crocker will take the free kick deep in the pocket. And Paddy Dow, classy in traffic, missed the kick, but still to the advantage of Crocker so that he could run onto it. And a good passage of play ends with a set shot for the Blues.
Just a bit clumsy there by Beasley, falling into the back of Crocker.
So the wind's starting to pick up a little bit, Ben Crocker. We mentioned he has a lot of shots on goal, sometimes not so good from the set shot. He likes them from the goal square, but this one's going to definitely test him. 40 out, right up against the boundary line. Maybe start at left goal post and bring it back.
Here's Ben Crocker. Leans back, always to the right-hand side, and through for a minus score. So the Blues go to 6-4-40, leading the Hawks 3-6-24. We've played 5 minutes in this third term here at City Oval.
2 goals, 1 now for Crocker. DeWitt to bring it back into play for Box Hill. We'll just take the short chip into the pocket for Beasley. No short options, so just up the line. Callow, the tall timber. Kajitsky as well. Couldn't hold on to it, though. Murkov roving at the ground level and fed it back to Parks, who gave it off to Stevens. And now Chincotta through the middle of Box Hill City Oval. Dow will loop it over the top to Hayes, but taken strongly by Phillips. Just didn't have any time or space there, did Will Hayes. And now Box Hill away on the outer side. Thorpe had a bit of it to start this second half. Gives it off to Sarong, who was pushed in the back after he marked it, and that's going to be a 50-metre penalty. He'll be in scoring range.
Big 50.
It was a big 50. And this is well inside Sarong's range, and rightfully he's going to go back and have a crack. No score for him in the first half. Did kick the 3 goals, 1 last week, Jai Sarong. Pick 53 in last year's national draft. In he comes, Jai Sarong, and he likes the sticks. He's put that one through. 4-6-30 now the Hawks. They get the first of the second half. Trailing Carlton 6-4-40.
Nice kicking action there from Jai Sarong. We were mentioning off air before, Michael. Will take a bit of time to fill out, but clearly some good signs last week with 3. Doesn't need a lot of opportunities, and as we saw there, a little bit fortuitous with the push in the back, the umpire deeming it very late. The 50-metre penalty, also on the generous side, but all he needed was just to look at the sticks, and very natural kicking action. And he gets the Hawks back within 2 goals. In the centre square here for the Hawks, to do the ruck work is Kazitsky. James Parsons is in there, Tom Phillips and Ned Long. Murkov wins it down to Fogarty, who's wrapped up in a strong tackle by Jacob Kazitsky, who it's been a whirlwind for him the last few years. Drafted as a key defender, kicked 6 as a key forward in the AFL, and now spending some time in the ruck at VFL level. Here's Brody Kemp on the left foot, inside 50, Jarman Impey, but coming from the side and taking a really strong intercept mark and slow to get to his feet for the Hawks. Very slow to get to his feet, in fact. Is Josh Morris. Courageous from the young Hawk there. Assesses his options. The umpire will call him to play on now and will look to switch the play. It's a dangerous looking ball and he's turned it over to Xavier Marr, who read it like a book and then kicks it inside 50. Finds Cahill, who sees something that he likes inside. It's Jesse Motlop on the goal line. Could have just run it through for a try if he wanted to, but it'll go back from the top of the square and kick an absolute certainty for the Blues.
Just dangerous kick across the ground.
Unselfish play from Cahill to set up Jesse Motlop for his first of the afternoon, and the Blues with the quick reply. They go to 7-4-46, leading the Hawks 4-6-30.
Almost 10 minutes gone in the third term. Carlton just able to keep that 2.5 to 3 goal buffer for the time being.
And now Josh Morris just getting treated by the medicos on the field. He looks okay to continue, but no, now he is going to come off. So heavy landing, so they might be doing a concussion test. Well, he really doesn't want to go off, does he? I think he's going to stay until there's another stoppage in play so that they're not one short, all by himself.
Yeah, they might have left that a little bit late, but I dare say he'll come off soon to get the required examination as we get back under play. Murkov won it down, and now Carlton bursting from stoppage through Fogarty. Inside forward 50 for Motlop again, and he can get 2 in a minute.
Maybe Morris is thinking I should have gone off earlier. His direct opponent, Motlop, as he said, could have 2 in a minute here.
Standing next to a Motlop, any Motlop inside forward 50 isn't fun for anyone. Jesse Motlop, Carlton's first pick in last year's national draft. Pick 27 he was. Didn't kick a goal last week, so that was his first in Carlton colours. This for his second in a minute. It's not going to have the distance, and it's thumped through for a minor score. 17 points now, the Carlton lead.
And now Josh Morris finds his way to the bench and will get assessed. Mason DeWitt with the kicking duties for the Hawks. You can see something wide that he likes. It's the skipper Hugh Beasley. Has to be perfect, and was. Beasley played on immediately to Aducci, who's under pressure, takes on one, gives the handball back to Beasley. Kick coming from Walton, the 23rd player, was good inside to Parsons. Just goes for the inside-out torp. Ugly looking ball. McCoy read it nicely off the boot and takes an uncontested intercept mark to Stocker, who's starting to get involved a bit more, to Ben Crocker on the outer side. Chipping ball inside to Chin Cotter. Kicked a beautiful running goal early. It's been one of their best so far today. And now they're just going to play some possession football, and Crocker just beefing up the stat sheets, getting on the end of this short kick. See something that he likes. It's Will Hayes talking about beefing up the stat sheet. He did that in the first half, led all comers with 24. Now the Hawks create the turnover. Impey, in fact Parsons. Saunders inside 50, some space to work with. Can Jekka get on the end of it? Parks and Stocker double teamed him, did well, and will get a throw in.
Parks has been near impenetrable in Carlton's defence today.
Having to play taller than he is as well.
Yep, that's right, and certainly doing his chances of an AFL recall no harm at all with this performance. I reckon he's stopped 2 or 3 certain scoring opportunities for Box Hill. And now he's just organising his teammates at the stoppage as well. Murkoff had the front position. Hayes dispossessed. Fogarty, it spills to. Now Carlton away through Hurst, but he's kicked it straight to Walton. Bites off the inboard kick to DeWitt. Impey is on if he wants to apply the full switch. Instead, he sends it to the hot spot. Parks one-on-one with Jekka. Might have been caught out of position there, and he gives away the free.
We were just mentioning that he's fighting a bit out of his height division and weight division, and then put under immense pressure with that high ball, and very early contact in Jekka. He's kicked some bags at VFL level last year and had a few AFL games as well. Gets a good opportunity here from directly in front.
Well, every Hawthorn fan I know is salivating over this young man's potential. Not the finished product just yet, but he's very talented, Emerson Jekka. In he comes, makes no mistake from close range. And Box Hill just stay within 2 goals, margin back to 11 points.
Well, they're close enough, and we know they've got the star power to put the foot down and kick consecutive goals against the run of play, which is what they've done to start this third quarter, the Hawks. 5-6-36 they trail the Blues, 7-5-47 as Will Hayes comes off for a well-deserved break.
Dark clouds are hovering, but they haven't produced any rain just yet. But if that were to happen, then a 2-goal lead's a pretty good one to have at this stage of the game. But Box Hill can try and make hay while it's not raining. I know that's not the saying, but apt in this situation.
Glass McCasker in the ruck, and the umpire's found a holding free kick. It's going to go Box Hill's way, and it's James Parsons running past for the handball receive was Impey, but Parsons didn't honour it. Now kicks it inside 50, big fly, and a great mark by Michael Lewis in defence for the Blues. Read it better than anyone. Barely 15 and dangerous, didn't quite hit the target, looking for Parks. Ed Phillips was there, the Blues under pressure. Just keep an eye on Ed Phillips, who's down at the moment inside 50. And the umpires found a holding free kick going against Josh Cripps. It's going to go to the Box Hill skipper in Hugh Beasley.
Ed Phillips is up on his feet.
Shallow entry and dropping what he should have taken Radovanovic. Around the body there was Emerson Jekka into the pocket. Green just nudged under it smartly by Liam Stocker. And now on the left boot, he rebounds beautifully and finds Ben Crocker, who's doing some nice work up around the half-back flank.
Certainly is. Hasn't seen too much ball inside forward 50 this quarter. Now Kemp, mark or free, take your pick. The free has allowed the Box Hill defenders to get back inside defensive 50 though, so it'll make the kick for Kemp that much harder. High ball. More Hawks jumpers there than Carlton jumpers, but Glass McCasker has it. Just shoots the handball out to no one in particular. Now we'll get a stoppage. 15 minutes gone, third term. 7-5 plays 5-6. Round 2 in the Smithies VFL. Box Hill City Oval. Handball comes out. Fogarty tried to find Cahill, couldn't do so, and Beasley just hacks it out of there and makes it Green's issue. Now it's one-on-one with Stocker, and Stocker did well to get it over the boundary line.
He saved them a few times today, Hugh Beasley, the skipper in game 50 on the last line of defence.
He's had a good game. He's made himself a career out of doing that.
The former Brisbane Lion and then Richmond VFL Premiership player. Still only 26 years of age, and if there was a key post position through COVID or any other reason, he definitely is ready to step straight back in. We got a scrimmage on the outer side, now kicked up towards half forward for the Hawks. Blues, though, good looking kick inside. Kemp, a little bit too much for Cahill, who had to jump but did well, kept it in front of himself. Aducci applies the pressure at ground level, needs some support. Was it a throw? No, it was too high. So a little bit clumsy from the Blues. And the free kick will go to Vincent Aducci. Kicks it to Jarman Impey. It's been quiet, but really hasn't spent too much time on the ground. We know coming back from his foot injury, he was going to be on managed minutes. Hasn't done anything wrong. We've seen a couple of trademark run and carry efforts from Jarman today. Just hope he can get through unscathed. As Tom Phillips switches a play to the skipper in Beasley. And now on the outer side, blank. Impey kept on running, did well. Short ball in front of Porter. Back to Impey, so involved a few times in this passage of play. Porter inside 50 for the Hawks, but there he is. Luke Parks reading it well off the boot. The Blues can rebound. Up towards centre wing. Plenty of numbers around the football. The ball comes out the back for the Blues. Looking for a fly in Glass McCasker, but in the front was a strong mark. And now inside 50, Crocker from behind. Did he push him out? He did. Very obvious from Ben Crocker there. Wanted to plead his case and then realised I'm not going to say much more.
Sometimes you need to know when you're beaten. And Crocker did on that occasion. DeWitt with the free now. Puts it to space. Jecker will get to it first in front of Stocker. It's a nice right foot kick for Aducci, who gets it and goes. He knows he's got Green one-on-one against Parks, and that's where he goes. Parks, front on contact.
Ooh.
Maybe a little bit unlucky.
I'm not sure if he actually made contact with him.
If he did, it was very slight. Not a lot we could see from our vantage point. But Green's got the free kick. He can kick for his second and bring the margin back to within single digits. He's going to snap it around the body. Green makes no mistake. Box Hill back to within a kick. 6-6-42 now. 7-5-47 the Blues. Approaching time on third term.
Comes off for a rest as well. Just coming back earlier to that passage of play, Jarman Impey, he's an impact player. He's not just get one disposal and then sags off. He was involved 2 or 3 times through run and carry, handball receives, and then on the end of it results in a Box Hill goal. So some encouraging signs there for Jarman Impey and the Hawks. So Jecker, they've had a merry-go-round of rucks today between Kazitsky, Callow and Jecker, with no recognised ruckman, with Max Lynch out with concussion. We know Ben McAvoy out for quite a while with a neck injury, and Ned Reeves playing AFL today.
Now the Blues, Motlop has the ball in front of him towards the boundary line. Morris did well, and he's off the knee, the boundary umpire says. So good to see Josh Morris back out there. So he's obviously passed any medical tests that they put him through. And Jesse Motlop is proving quite evasive for him. He's up at the back of the stoppage here, so perhaps getting a few midfield minutes here. High throw in. Murkov with another tap. Tom Phillips taken in a one-handed tackle by Paddy Dow, who's going to get on the end of it here as well. In some traffic. Trudged he's going to get run down, and run down hard by Cal Porter. Hunted his prey, wrapped him up, and rewarded. Now plays on. Kicks it inside, 50. Big fly from behind. Kazitsky couldn't take it on the second grab. Jekka's in there. Here's Brady Gray, the former Docker, up and under. Callow couldn't quite take it. The Hawks have got some numbers at the drop of the ball here. The Blues have to defend grimly. Okoye did well, just hacked it on the boot to Crocker, who's really working up the ground. And that kick will be out of bounds on the full, so the Hawks will get another look here.
And they will. Too far out to score. Kick's going to go to the hot spot. Murkov the flyer. Didn't get a hand to it. Jekka at the back. As easy as you like. And the Hawks take the lead. Jekka gets his second. Box Hill 7-6-48 now leading Carlton 7-5-47. They led it by 8 points at quarter time. Trailed by 17 at halftime. And now they have a 1 point lead 22 minutes into the third term.
4 goals in a hurry. It's some of their bigger blokes who are starting to get involved. Emerson Jekka, who's working really hard from the ruck and then getting forward, making the Carlton defenders nervous. And why Hawthorn supporters are so excited about Emerson Jekka is that he's not one-dimensional. He can take the mark and then the ball can hit the ground and he can easily crumb his own work, which is essentially what he's done there. And now he's taking the centre bounce ruck contest against Murkov, who's been given the Carlton midfielders first-class service all day. But on the scoreboard, it's the Hawks leading by a point. 22.5 minutes played in this third quarter here at City Oval. The Smithies VFL round 2 action coming to a close. Murkov did well to Hayes, who kicks it inside, 50. Big fly from Thorpe, couldn't bring it down. Kemp to Motlop on the outside of the boot. That's not going to work. Kicks it out of bounds on the full. Josh Morris just quickly scurries after Motlop. Just trailed him a little bit at the stoppage there. Didn't make him pay.
Looking dangerous though, Jesse Motlop. He's come to life in this third term. Beasley to take the free for Box Hill. Up the line, standing tall and taking a good mark. There was Kemp. Side forward 50, off hands. Cahill, handball to no one. Ending up with it is Nunes, and he's not quite dribbled it through, touched on the goal line. Good stuff from Mason DeWitt, and scores are tied at Box Hill City Oval.
Always a Hawk defender on the last line, be it Beasley or DeWitt. They do that very well. Now the kick. Cincotta with the double fist. Long, the strong body, did well. Jekka in and out of traffic, but Parks intercepts. Looking for Cooper Stevens, but the handball misses him. And we'll have it thrown in on centre wing position. Some of the prime movers for the Blues just being slowed a little bit in this third quarter. Will Hayes, Matt Cottrell, Paddy Dow. So the Hawks really getting to work around the stoppage. Murkov and Jekka. No shin guard even on for Jekka. You always say that with rucks, but he's like, this isn't my day job. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. So didn't quite come prepared, and he's lost the football there. Murkov followed up well. The kick off the side of the boot might work. That's landed inside the play just. So he did well there, the big man. Gained 20 or 30 metres for his team, and now is going to have to contest another ruck throw in.
Top 5 disposal winners on the ground are all Carlton players. Hayes has got 28, Cincotta and Cottrell and Dow and Fogarty all with 20.
Shallow throw in. Jekka did well but lost his feet. Dow is in there. Hayes, Cottrell, good smother, Ned Long. Stevens about to get wrapped up by Long. He's got a presence in there. Aducci did well. Shoveled it out the back door. Mitchell to Ned Long from 50. The youngster lets fly. It's coming back as it got there just to the right-hand side. But some positive play there by the Hawks youngster, Ned Long, getting involved a few times and registering a minus score. So the Blues now 7-7-49, leading the Blues 7-6-48. 25 minutes played in this third term.
And just to tie a bow on that, leading disposal winners for Box Hill, it's Phillips and Beasley leading the way with 17 apiece. Tom Phillips, that is, as the kick is partially smothered. Hayes first to react to the ricochet, then had his kick partially smothered. Box Hill a chance to go inside 50 again through Parsons. Will the kick stay in? Nope. Boundary line beats Kajitsky to the footy. So Parks to take the free. Almost 26 gone in the third term. 4-1 in this quarter in favour of Box Hill. Here's Dow. Kemp offers a lead. Kick goes beyond him. Glass, McCasker and Cripps are the Flyers. Thumped over the line by Beasley.
Talk about the work rate of Ned Long. 13 disposals. 3 kicks are doing a lot of work inside, but 10 tackles at 8 to half time and just continuing to apply pressure.
That'll make him a coach's favourite, no doubt.
Look at the experience around the ball here for the Hawks. Parsons, Tom Phillips, Jordan Cunico. Aducci now getting involved from behind. Big slap by Glass McCasker. Can Dow keep it in? He tried to. I think the boundary umpire called for a throw in just as he kicked the ball out of bounds. So saved there. Very even contest now as the Hawks have got themselves right back in it and into the lead as we approach three-quarter time here at City Oval. They lead it by a point. For Glass McCasker and Jacob Kazitsky, one of the 3 rotating rucks for the Hawks today to do battle. Kazitsky did well, won the tap out. Tom Phillips applying the pressure on Fogarty. Now Kazitsky gets the ball forward for the Hawks. Radovanovic overruns it and it rolls out of bounds. Jarman Impey definitely, Michael, spent a lot more time on the ground in this third quarter, so all part of the plan. Didn't take to the field in the first quarter. Probably played, you'd say, half of the second quarter, and his best footy has come when he's been on the ground for the longest in this third term.
Yeah, that's right. He's really ramping it up as the game goes on. He's covering a lot of ground as well. We saw him switch sides very quickly. Got a couple of touches in quick succession on opposite sides of the ground as Phillips clears, gives it off to Long. High wobbling ball inside 50. Okoye just misread it, got onto the footy. Cottrell now under pressure from Aducci. Needs to be careful. Aducci's got him. Okoye goes again. They've got him. And he's over the boundary line. Shadows of three-quarter time. It's Box Hill by a point. If you just joined us, the Hawks led by 8 at quarter time, trailed by 17 at half time, and now they're up by a point, approaching the last break. Callow in the ruck against Glass McCasker. Give it to the ladder. At the back, trying to sock it through was Parsons, but he did so in danger. And it's going to be Parks on the last line of defence. Short ball, Stocker called to play on. Brings it immediately to the broadcast side. Glass McCasker needs to fly. Radovanovic did okay, but it was all Hawks on the ground. Centering ball from Cunico. Gray trying to apply the tackle, but Carlton got numbers. And Cripps, no, won't hold on to it. Kajitsky did well. Now just hammers it to the top of the square again. Gets free at the back. Lurking is Butler. Butler puts it on the boot across the face. Still going for the Hawks. It stays in. Mitchell, his kick partially smothered. Trudgeon just gets it out of there. And the mark is taken by Hurst, and the Blues can go again.
Geez, they worked hard, defended for their lives, and did well. Now Cody Hurst up towards centre wing. Kemp, big fly, off hands. Fogarty keeps it in. Couple of sore bodies. Cripps does well. Trudgeon with the handball, looking for Glass McCasker. A couple of sore Hawks behind play. Josh Morris in the wars again. And the 23rd player, Max Walton.
Yeah, bad signs for him. He's going straight to the bench.
He's trying to maybe even run it off as Aducci comes for a spell. Three-quarter time imminent. Almost 30 minutes gone. Glass McCasker off his own head. Wasn't part of the plan. Motlop at his
legs taken out from underneath him, and he'll take the free kick. So he's had some very good moments. Jesse Motlop could have kicked 2 in a minute. He's not going to have an effort from here, is he? Well, he's telling the umpire from 85 metres out, let me have a go, and gets it about halfway there. So 3/4 time here at City Oval. It's Box Hill leading 7-7-49 to the Blues 7-6-48.
Footy to close out this game. Aaron Feder to bring you the opening bounce.
1 point the difference. The Blues had their way in the first half and the Hawks clawed their way back into it in the third. Kazitsky, Murkov, Fogarty gets the clearance inside 50. DeWitt has defended well. Cahill, intelligent tap to Motlop, to Crocker. Back to Cahill. Great tackle and holding the ball. Superb defensive pressure from Josh Morris, just as the Blues looked like they were going to hit the scoreboard first. Short kick to Jarman Impey. 8 disposals to 3/4 time, but really has only played about a quarter and a half on managed minutes, on return from injury, and starting to work his way into it. Jarman Impey, high ball, might work for Aducci. And Chincotta, who's been one of the Blues' best today, comes in from behind and slaps it out of bounds.
Had 20 touches in the opening 3/4, Alex Chincotta. Been a very good player for them. Kicked a lovely running goal in the second term as well. As the ball's tossed in. Kazitsky actually won that hit out. Wrapped up immediately as Porter. Ball up around 60 out from the Carlton goal. Motlop just paddled it forward. Straight to Aducci though, who's tackled. Ball does spill free through Walton. Impey, now Phillips. Couple of AFL listed Hawks combining. Had pressure on the kick though, so it's a dangerous bouncing ball across the ground. Well, he was looking for his brother Ed, but had Nunes for company, and over the boundary line it goes. 49 plays 48, no score in the opening 90 seconds of the final term. If you've just joined us, we've had plenty of twists and turns in this game. Box Hill led it by 8 at quarter time. Carlton led it by 17 at half time. And then it was 1 point game at 3/4 time with the current score line. Ball up the wing for Box Hill. Numbers around it. It's difficult to extract. It is, though, eventually to Phillips. He tries to take on the tackler. But luckily for him, the boundary line was right there, so he's not caught holding it.
So Murkov and Kazitsky to do battle again on the far side. Motlop spending some time in the midfield and has done some good things today. Smashed forward by Kazitsky towards the boundary line. Long just keeps it in. Cooper Stevens there for the Blues. Shares it with Nunes. By handball, Dow getting involved. Looping handball into space in front of Hayes, who taps it intelligently in front of him for a teammate to run on, who just soccers it inside 50, but the Hawks are there in numbers. Jarman Impey, dangerous ball inside. Aducci was bracing for contact, did well, but then turns it over to Motlop, who just slaps it forward. Morris is there. Impey in and out of traffic. That was classy, but he's going to get run down. Holding the ball. Great forward pressure by the Blues and Jesse Motlop. And Jarman Impey, step 1, step 2, but didn't get rid of it in time. And Jesse Motlop can make him pay here.
You called it, Aaron. In and out of traffic. The only problem is then he went back into traffic, and Jesse Motlop, the recipient of the free kick.
Really come to life in the last couple of quarters. Jesse Motlop, quiet start. Could have had 2 in a minute. Set shot, 40 out, directly in front for his second of the day. Jesse Motlop, let's fly. Always to the right-hand side. Can he bring it back? He can. It's a lovely strike from Jesse Motlop, and the Blues draw first blood in this deciding term. They take the lead, 8-6-54, leading the Hawks, 7-7-49. 4 minutes played in the final term here at City Oval.
Nice finish from Jesse Motlop. He's had a couple of set shots today. Missed the first one in the third term, but able to put that one through. It's always a good sign when a player can kick a set shot goal when the stakes are high as they are at the moment.
just looked like Impey was going to break clear of all the congestion and pull off a classy kick, but I guess when you haven't played in a while, pressure stakes are hot.
That's it. But he's been good today in his limited minutes, and he'll get more run into his legs over the next couple of weeks, no doubt. Long, handball partially smothered, ricochets to Kajitski, who was taken high. There's a couple of teammates calling for a handball. Kajitski wants to kick it long instead, inside 50. Jekka had a couple of blues to contend with. Saunders missed it. Now Gray has it. Could have had a shot. Centers it instead. A couple of Hawks both flew for it, and in the end, no one took it. Mitchell at the back. Carlton defending well. And we'll get a ball up. 5 minutes into the final term. 5-point lead to Carlton. Not many goals have been kicked to the Maroondah Highway end of the ground. If Box Hill wants to win this game, they're going to have to find a way to kick a couple at this end at least. Murkov over the top, taps it straight to Parsons, snap towards goal. Almost clean bowled everyone, but not Parks, who sees it through for a behind. 4-point lead now to the Blues, kick in for Stocker.
So Liam Stocker, another one who's come back from injury for the Blues, takes the kick in, kicks it long. Murkov, huge fly from behind was Morris. Parsons now to Saunders, kicks inside 50. The Blues have got a couple of numbers and doing extremely well as Radovanovic intercepting for the Blues. Sees something short that he likes. It's Dom McCoy. He's done some nice things today, still learning the game, developing nicely at VFL level, the NGA product. Ball off the instep. The Hawks have got the numbers here, so not a great kick. Tom Phillips intercepts his ball to his brother Ed. Done that a few times in the backyard. Short chipping ball is good to Sarong, who's had his moments. That should be 50. Jesse Motlop in the protected area. Gets away with it. Inside 50. Good intercept mark there for the Blues. It's Radovanovic again. And Cooper Stevens can rebound. Nice looking kick to Brody Kemp, who leads up at the football. Sees something he likes further afield, but just misses the mark. Blank is there. The Hawks with the numbers through handball. Sarong working up the ground now. Short ball to Ned Long, who's enjoyed his time in midfield for the Hawks today. Racking up disposals and tackles at will. Phillips with the mark. Can switch the play if he likes. Sees something inboard. It'll work to Kazitsky. The Hawks have got numbers out the back here if they can move it quickly. Inside 50. Callow. Parks from the side did well. Falls to Mitchell on a slide angle. Can he dribble it through? He can. For a behind. Good passage of play from the Hawks. And Seamus Mitchell couldn't quite bend it to the right-hand side of the goalpost. So through for a minus score. And the Hawks go to 7-9-51, trailing the Blues 8-6-54. 8 minutes played in the final term.
Trudgen one-on-one with Kajitski. The latter got a fist to it. So the Hawks closing the gap early in this final term. The only problem is they're doing it in increments of one. They trail it by 3 points. Ball to be thrown in. Kajitski did well bodying Murkov under the ball. Dow just fumbled, which allowed Parsons to come in and send it inside forward 50. Stocker ends up with it, then spilled it, then got it back. Chincotta lurking, so too Radovanovic. Ball comes free, long, bit overzealous in the tackle. And the pressure valve just released momentarily for the Blues. Chincotta's ball inside defensive 50. Goes short for Parks, who also has a short option in Nunes. Has Stevens short, instead wants to send it up the wing for Trudgen. One-on-one with DeWitt. And Mason DeWitt happy to see it over the boundary line. 8-6-54 to 7-9-51. 9 minutes gone, final term. Hawks coming off a loss last week, a heartbreaking loss by 2 points to Collingwood. Carlton got a 42-point win over Brisbane as Box Hill wins the clearance. Brady Gray came up to meet it aggressively. Dished off the handball. With time and space, they can pick out an option inside forward 50, but Okoye did well to get a fist on it, and now Parks can rebound. Crocker a long way from home.
So Ben Crocker really playing that high half-forward role and getting right up to defensive 50 to support. He's done that well today, and he's hit the scoreboard twice. It's a lovely kick to Cody Hurst, who moves it nicely to Josh Cripps. Can go all the way home if he likes. Josh Cripps just chips it over the top into the arms of Ned Cahill, who strolls in and kicks his third goal of the afternoon. And the Blues kick out to a 9-point lead. That's great running from Ben Crocker, playing half forward, getting up to half back, precision kick to Cody Hurst, who kicked it to the advantage of Josh Cripps. Could have almost had a shot himself, but did the team thing, popped it over the back, and Ned Cahill, ever the opportunist, kicks his third goal from the goal square.
Good transition play there from the Blues. Haven't seen a lot of that sort of end-to-end stuff today. But Carlton able to do it there to great effect. 9-point lead now for the Blues to start their season 2-0. Be a great boost for them at VFL level, following on from the success of the AFL team. Started out 3-0 with a 1-point win over the Hawks at the MCG earlier today. Murkov against Jekka. Hawks win the clearance though through Parsons. Inside forward 50, one-on-ones and reading it best. And taking the mark at the back for Box Hill. And this will be a certain goal from the top of the square for Fergus Green.
Mentioned it earlier on in the call. We saw him do some great roving work at ground level, but equally adept marking the ball above his head. Read it better than anyone, really.
So this one from point blank range, directly in front. Box Hill gets the immediate response. Fergus Green's got his third, and the Hawks have their eighth. 8-9-57 now to 9-6-60. Almost 12 minutes gone, final term.
Instant reply for the Hawks. Just as we thought the Blues were starting to hit their straps again. In what's been an arm wrestle for most of the afternoon, no one's really been able to kick too far clear, so the immediate response, and we're back to a 3-point ball game. As Liam Stocker on return from injury just gets a rub in front of the broadcast position, and Brody Kemp gets ready to go back on. And Jekka and Glass McCasker to do battle in the middle again. Jesse Motlop spending some good midfield minutes in this second half. Ooh, high bump on Trudgeon. The umpire didn't call it that way. He follows up and does well, then gets a high one. Should have gotten 2 free kicks in the one passage of play. Jesse Motlop to the top of the goal square. Almost goes all the way. In fact, it does go all the way. Jesse Motlop, 3 for the young Blue. And another quick response from the Blues. They go to 10-6-66, leading 8-9-57. 13 minutes played in this final term.
Both sides going goal for goal at the moment. Had 3 goals in only about, maybe a minute of game time. It's been really exciting stuff.
The Blues picked 27. I know it's only VFL level, but he's shown his wares today. And he's having a big say on the outcome of this game. 3 goals, 2 in the final term.
He certainly is, and you're not just saying that because he's right in front of us, are you? No,
he's not listening.
He's playing a very good game, Jesse Motlop. Get excited, Blues fans, as we get underway again in the middle. Jekka wins it out of the ruck. Porter over the top of it. Then he turned tackler. Glass McCasker now applying a tackle as well, and umpire calls for it. Jekka and Glass McCasker go at it again. On the ground. No one able to handle it cleanly. Eventually shoveled out by Trudgeon. Bouncing ball towards half forward. Getting a handball away there was Porter, and Box Hill soccer it forward, but only as far as Chincotta, who's set upon by Aducci. Just a little bit slow to get up there is Trudgeon. He's copped a lot of contact in the last few minutes, but he's going to give it a go. Mars pulled off his kick. Carlton go forward, though, through Hayes. High ball to the one-on-ones. Ball's allowed to bounce. Crocker reads it well. He won his right boot. Turns around and snaps through another one for the Blues. And just like that, the margin's opened up to 15 points. 11-6-72 the Blues, 8-9-57 the Hawks.
So many dynamic forwards for both sides, and we've seen Ben Crocker kick goals from the goal square, work back defensively. He's really played almost the complete game. Foot skills have been really good, and then inside, outside, snap over the body. A really important goal, 2 on the trot here as both teams went goal for goal there. So a little handy break here, 15 points a margin, 15 minutes gone in this final term. The Blues now with the momentum. What have the Hawks got? Jarman Impey makes his way back onto the field and takes his place at half back. Kazitsky and Murkov do battle in the middle. The ball spills out the back. Ned Long went to pick it up, but Will Hayes kicked it away from his grasp, but then Long follows up and does well and finds Callum Porter. High up and under, Callow underneath it. Parks came from behind and affected the spoil. Now the ball just trickles forward. Okoye did well. Aducci, dangerous in this situation. Callow, they needed a response from him. Snapped across the face, and Jalen Thorpe, who's been swung forward, where he's done most of his good work at VFL level, couldn't quite keep it in. Hush over the ground here as we tick up towards 17 minutes in this final term. It's the Blues leading by 15 points. The 245s, Callow and Murkov. Ball out the back. Aducci couldn't take it cleanly. Now the Blues can rebound. Chincotta. Beasley. The intercepting play was good, but the handball misses the mark, and Jack Nunes is there for the Blues. Hawks got to be careful here as Nunes carries the ball forward, lowers his eyes. Big fly from Kemp, but the good defensive spoil there for the Hawks saves the day.
Blanket was getting the fist in there.
The advantage of Crocker, and coming over the back with a very strong defensive spoil is James Blank. So the ball to be thrown in. Inside 50 for the Blues. Glass McCasker. Again, that's the second time he's falconed the ball from the ruck stoppage. Fogarty wanted to keep it in and then decided, I'll just walk it out. And Sarong, who's been swung back in this final term, is going to actually earn himself a free kick here. The umpire said that he could have kept it in, Fogarty, and he just stepped it over deliberately. So Impey, wide ball. And the Hawks can move the ball up the wing. Ed Phillips needs some support. Now lays the tackle. And the ball will be thrown in as we tick up towards full time here. It's been an arm wrestle for most of the day, but the young Blues have just put the foot down when it mattered and kicked well clear. 14-8-92, leading the Hawks 8-10-58. So the Blues will go 2-0 to start the 2022 Smithies VFL season under Daniel O'Keefe.
They certainly will as Chincotta drives it towards half forward. Just a bit too much on it for Cahill. And the sting's very much gone out of this game now. The home crowd has been silenced, which means the Blues have done their job. 7 goals 2 to 1 goal 3 in this final term. Motlop's kicked 4, all in the second half. 3 of those coming in this final term as well as we get another stoppage. Murkov wins the ruck. In fact, it was Glass McCasker. Centering ball. One-on-one is Cripps. Ball spills free. Crocker wants his right again. We've seen him do this earlier in the term, but this one won't have the journey. Hawks defenders around it. Motlop there too. Put on the boot, but not getting towards goal. Cahill bodies an opponent off it. And he's celebrating another one. It is another one for the Blues. Cahill's got 4 now, and the small forwards have been too much for Box Hill to handle.
Geez, a dangerous presence around goals, Ned Cahill. Very slippery customer.
Just made something out of nothing on that occasion.
Wouldn't have picked this at three-quarter time for the game to be absolutely busted open like this.
Not at all. Not with a 1-point game at three-quarter time, but for whatever reason, that northern end left of screen is always the scoring end here at Box Hill City Oval, even when there's no wind at all. And Carlton have very much made the most of it. Kicked 5 goals to this end in the second term, and now 8 in this final term.
40 points the margin as Jesse Motlop quickly runs into the centre bounce so that they've got equal representation.
Got another Hawk running in there
There's
as well.
5 in
Jai
there.
Sarong.
There's 5 in there. This should be a free kick. This should be a free kick. The umpire, I think, is being very lenient. It's a warning. There you go.
I reckon Jacob Koshitsky knew that was coming.
Yeah. So the ball to be thrown back in. Dying stages of this final term here at City Oval. It's been the Blues' day. Dow with brute strength. Burst clear from the stoppage. Let's fly from 55. Paddy Dow. Absolute class finish on the run from Paddy Dow. 2 for the term and tops off a great afternoon at the office for Paddy Dow.
So not only are the Blues going to go to 2-0, they're going to go to 2-0 with a very healthy percentage with 2 big wins.
Hawks are asleep at the wheel here.
They are. It's been a phenomenal final term. 9 goals to 1. And it's a 46-point margin as it currently stands.
We did say earlier, if the Blues were to get a positive advantage anyway, it was going to be in the middle with Murkov getting first hand to the ball, Glass McCasker as well, with no recognised ruckman, and particularly in this last quarter, they've just walked the ball out of the centre.
Murkov decided not even to go for that hit out. Kaczynski tapped it straight to him, but the Hawks win the clearance through long. Stocker well placed. Gets a fist to it over Callow. Radovanovic to rebound. Stocker and Radovanovic played the 1-2 game, and now long up the line. Thorpe as well. No, it gives away the free kick. Umpires called advantage. So Carlton's going to have to go. Hurst on the ground. Now they're just moving it on by hand and adding to their stats, but now they've got it at right half forward through Fogarty. Handball to Hugh Hamilton, the 23rd man. He has a go from the pocket. Motlop tried to do the spectacular, but couldn't hang on.
So DeWitt to rebound, takes the kick in, runs 15. Good kick, finds Cal Porter. The Blues have been absolutely dominant in this final term. So much to get excited for if you're a Blues fan. It's the young kids that have been leading the way. He's stepped out of bounds there, Jacob Kaczynski, just as he's kicked it forward. So we'll have it thrown in on true centre wing position. 31 and a half minutes gone. Be a long final term. Rained goals here as Liam Stocker comes off. Looks like he's done for the day on return from injury. Definitely built into the game nicely off the half-back line. A couple of courageous marks. He'll be happy with his day's work, as will the Blues. Thrown back into play. Murkov at the front, did well. Dow still running, still getting involved. Murkov, good handball to Hurst, to the running Hayes, who set it all up in the first quarter, to Crocker, strong hands in front of Blank. He's had a good day, Ben Crocker, kicked the 3. Assessing his options further afield, now plays on. Kicks it to a dangerous spot, needs a flyer, and the flyers from the opposition team, it's Jalen Thorpe. Dangerous ball. Brady Gray was standing underneath it. And Radovanovic made him earn it.
Might
gives
get
away
50
50 for it as well. So Brady Gray's got a bit of a limp on. It's not going to cost the Blues, though. All the damage done already. There's Jarman Impey's slouched back on the bench. Looks like his day is done as well. The minutes that the Hawks wanted him to play have been ticked off, built into the game nicely as well, and will be better for the run. It's the Blues inside to Paddy Dow. He's just enjoying himself in junk time, if we can call it that. Fogarty, it's been okay today, and he's going to be pinged for holding the ball here. Porter for the Hawks. McCoy reads the ball well. Did well to get across, but just infringed high. Geez, a fickle game for a defender. Do everything right, and then at the last moment, just the arm goes across the shoulder. And Emerson Jekka, who's had some moments in this game for the Hawks, having to do some relief ruck work, can take a shot. 50 out, slide angle.
Brady Gray coming off with that limp.
So Fergus Green's got 3 for the Hawks. The next best is Emerson Jekka with 2. Can he join Green? Leans back on it. Looks like it might just hold its line, but it hasn't got the legs, and it's punched over the line through for a minus score. Box Hill go to 8-11-59. The Blues, an accurate 16-9-105. They were inaccurate last week against Brisbane. Plenty of scoring shots, but couldn't capitalise. Well, on the flip side, the Hawks couldn't miss last week in their loss to the Pies. As Nunes marches it out of defence, takes a bounce, takes 2, sees something further afield, but Blank read it best, takes the mark. Crocker ran underneath the football. Blank now can rebound. McCoy's there, so is Radovanovic. He can hold his head high today. He's been very solid down back. The runner Cottrell gets on the end of it. Sees something that he likes down. It's Murkov, Kazitsky. And now Morris close to the boundary line, wants to see it over, steps over, and will have it thrown in on centre wing.
46-point lead for Carlton. 35 minutes gone now, final term. It's just been a navy blue onslaught, 9-1. After the Hawks actually led it by a point at three-quarter time. Seems hard to believe now. As Phillips puts it on the boot. 3 Blues to contend with for Green. Did okay, got initial hands to it, but couldn't hang on.
The floodlights came on, I think, in the second term, and they've mysteriously just been turned off as it's gotten darker.
They have. It's unusual. Daylight savings ending today as well, so it's going to be getting darker earlier. As Motlop clears. Didn't quite find a target by hand. Gets it back, though, from Stevens. Now working the outer side towards Hurst. Gets to him on the bounce. Had time to gather and find Crocker. Can they find a late goal, Carlton, and make it an even 10 goals for the final term? Hurst has it now, a kick and a half from goal.
Where's Motlop?
Has been the danger man in this second half as the siren sounds. And Carlton comes away from Box Hill City Oval with a big 46-point win over the Box Hill Hawks. 16-9-105 to 8-11-59. And the Stars up forward with a small forward.